Just when Chris thought the breakup drama had peaked, a new layer has surfaced. And this one wasn't shown on Netflix. Because according to Bri and Connor, what happened after Chris ended things with Jessica might be even more revealing than the breakup itself. More on that in a second. Because this isn't just awkward post-show tension, this is about timing, intent, and whether Chris's explanation for the split still holds up under scrutiny. If you watched episodes 7 through 9, you saw it unfold. Chris expressing doubts, talking about physical chemistry, saying he didn't want to fake it, Jessica choosing to walk away. It was messy, but contained, painful, but somewhat mature. Now fast forward to the pod reunion mixer, a cast event, off-camera dynamics, no structured edit, no dramatic music, just real interactions. And that's where things reportedly shifted. According to Bri and Connor, Chris approached Bri after his breakup. Not casually, not just friendly, but in a way that made things uncomfortable. And this is important, because Bri wasn't some random cast member. She was engaged, she was there with Connor, and Connor had considered Chris a friend inside the experiment. So what exactly happened? In interviews, Bri describes Chris making comments that felt inappropriate. Comments that crossed the line from friendly to suggestive. Connor says Chris even insulted him, questioning whether he was the right match for Bri. Let that sink in. Days after ending his engagement over chemistry concerns, Chris is allegedly hinting at interest in another engaged woman. And that's where viewers are drawing connections. Because if the breakup was about honesty, why does this look like opportunism? Now let's slow this down. We don't have footage. We don't have raw audio. We have cast interviews. But perception matters. And perception right now is shifting. Fans who were previously divided over the breakup are starting to ask, was the chemistry issue real? Or was Chris simply keeping options open? That's the uncomfortable question. And the timing is what fuels it. If someone ends an engagement and immediately appears to pivot towards someone else, it reframes the narrative. It doesn't prove wrongdoing, but it changes optics. And reality TV lives and dies by optics. Connor, in particular, sounded blindsided. He said he felt betrayed, not just because of what was said, but because of how quickly the dynamic changed. Inside the pods, there was brotherhood energy, shared vulnerability. Now, post-breakup, the tone is reportedly different, and that transformation is what viewers are analyzing. Because this isn't just about attraction, it's about consistency. Chris positioned himself as measured, careful, principled. But if his actions at the mixer contradict that image, the audience recalibrates. Now here's another layer that makes this explosive. Season 10 already revealed. An engagement that ended overnight. Budget-driven production decisions. Multiple couples struggling with trust. Now this. Which means this season isn't just unstable. It's layered with post-pod tension. And that tension extends beyond romantic relationships. It affects friendships, group dynamics, cast loyalty, and when cast members speak publicly about behavior that wasn't shown, it makes viewers question what else is being left out. Is the edit protecting certain storylines, or is the chaos simply too dense to include everything? Either way, this reunion mixer incident adds a new dimension to the Chris storyline, because it suggests his doubts about Jessica might not have existed in isolation. They may have coexisted with curiosity about others. Now, is that inherently wrong? Not necessarily. These are human beings navigating compressed timelines. But the optics are difficult, especially when the breakup was framed as reluctant but necessary. If you're reluctant, you don't pivot immediately. That's the emotional math fans are doing. And online reactions are heating up. Some argue Chris was single at that point, free to speak to whoever he wanted. Others argue that respect, especially within a shared experiment, requires more restraint. And that's where this becomes bigger than just gossip. It becomes about character, about emotional maturity, about whether the experiment exposes true intention or accelerates impulsivity. Now let's talk about Bri. she shut it down. According to her account, she made it clear she was committed to Connor. That detail matters. Because it stabilizes her position, it also strengthens Connor's perspective. If he felt disrespected and Bri felt uncomfortable, that narrative carries weight. And it adds tension heading into the final episodes. Because now every Chris scene will be rewatched through a different lens. Not just hesitant fiancé, but potentially misdirected energy. Now here's the strategic layer. This story extends the life of the breakup. Instead of fading after episode 9, it evolves, which keeps engagement high, which keeps discussion active, which makes season 10 feel unpredictable. And unpredictability drives watch time. Because now viewers aren't just waiting for weddings, they're watching for patterns. Does Chris address this publicly? Does Jessica respond? Does Connor escalate it? Does the reunion bring it up? Those are open loops, and open loops keep people coming back. So this isn't just a small off-camera moment. It's a pivot point. It changes perception. And perception in reality TV can be irreversible. If you want continued breakdowns of Season 10, the cast interviews, the unseen dynamics, and what might explode next, subscribe. Because the most interesting drama isn't always in the edit. Sometimes it's what happens when the cameras stop rolling.